Hi Reddit. I'm Robert. I'm 35, and I swear to you, nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for what went down at our anniversary party. Let me paint you a quick picture. 10 years married. 10 years of showing up, holding it down, paying the bills, staying faithful, and building what I thought was a rock-solid life with Claire. We had a home in the suburbs, 2 cars, no kids, her choice, not mine, and a routine that ran like a well-oiled machine. I worked in logistics. She was in HR at some mid-sized tech firm. Life was calm, predictable, boring in the way some people actually crave. But boring isn't always safe. Sometimes it's just the camouflage right before a war breaks out. So we planned this big backyard anniversary party. Nothing fancy, just friends, family, some catered food, string lights. The kind of suburban celebration where people pretend like everything's perfect while gossiping behind plastic wine glasses. I even had a slideshow playing of our old photos. Claire and I through the years. Trips, birthdays, selfies, and dumb Halloween costumes. I worked on that damn thing for a week. About 50 people showed up. Her parents flew in from Colorado. My brother brought his new girlfriend. I had no idea that night was going to gut punch me in front of everyone I cared about. Around 8:30, Claire grabs the mic. Everyone claps, expecting a cheesy speech or a toast. She looks beautiful, calm, like she's rehearsed what she's about to say. And then she drops it. I want to thank everyone for coming, especially since this will be my last anniversary as Robert's wife. Laughter. Nervous, awkward laughter. People think it's a joke. I didn't laugh. I knew that tone. That dead serious, smooth as glass delivery she uses when she's already made up her mind. Then she continues. I've fallen in love with someone else. His name's Darren. He's my boss. And we're moving in together next week. No one breathed. I remember the sound of a fork dropping onto a plate. I remember her mother gasping. I remember my brother muttering, "What the actual hell?" She stood there like she just announced she was starting a new job. No emotion. No apology. Just facts. Straight up facts. And me? I was frozen. Everything in me went cold. Like my blood checked out and left my body on autopilot. I stared at her and realized I didn't even know this person anymore. Then her dad stood up. Loud as hell. Are you kidding me, Claire? What the hell is wrong with you? Her mom followed. This is how you treat your husband? After everything he's done for you? You announced this in front of your whole family. Claire had the nerve to roll her eyes. I didn't want to lie anymore, she said. Her dad just shook his head and told her to get the hell out of the house. Right there, in front of everyone. She blinked, like that was the part that shocked her. I don't even remember what I said. I think I was still trying to process the nuclear blast that just went off in my life. But her parents? They disowned her right then and there. Told her not to come home for the holidays, not to call, not to send pictures, nothing. Claire stormed out like she was the victim, slammed the gate, and drove off. Alone. I wish I could say that was the end of it, that I woke up the next day and moved on with my life. But Reddit, you don't even know how wrong I was. That party, that was just Act 1. I had no idea what was coming next. The house emptied out faster than a fire drill. People made excuses, awkward goodbyes, fake smiles. Nobody wanted to be caught in the blast zone. Within 30 minutes, it was just me, my brother, and the leftover meatballs from catering. I didn't speak. Not much to say when your wife of 10 years announces she's dumping you for her boss in front of her parents at your anniversary party. My brother, Nate, tried to play it cool, wanting to smash her car windows. He said, half joking, half not. I didn't laugh. I just poured myself a drink. Scotch. Neat. No ice. It burned like hell, but not as much as the humiliation. The next morning, Claire was gone. Her closet, empty. Bathroom drawers, wiped clean. Toothbrush, gone. Wedding ring, left on the counter, right next to a post-it note that read, I'm sorry you had to find out like that. I just needed to be honest. Honest. She humiliated me in front of her family, my family, and our friends. And now she was playing the honesty card like she deserved some kind of medal. I texted her one thing. You could have just told me. Privately. She replied, you wouldn't have let me go. What the hell does that even mean? I'm not some prison warden. She could have packed and left like a normal person. Instead, she performed a breakup like it was a damn TED Talk. Then came the rumors. Apparently, Claire and Darren, the boss, had been hooking up for months. She wasn't just falling in love. She was already deep in the affair. Coworkers started messaging me privately. One said they'd seen them leave a hotel together after a conference. Another told me they shared a suite at a company retreat because the rooms were overbooked. Yeah, right. It didn't take long for Darren's wife to find me on Facebook. That's right. Darren was married. Still is, at least legally. She sent me a long message, apologizing, telling me she'd suspected something, but didn't have proof until now. We ended up talking on the phone for 2 hours. She cried. I didn't. I was too numb. Claire's family, still radio silent with her. Her dad called me the next week to check in. Said he was ashamed to even call her his daughter. I didn't know what to say to that. He's not the one waking up alone in a house filled with memories and silence. The thing is, I wasn't even mad. Not at first. Just hollow. Like my life got pulled out from under me, and I was floating somewhere between disbelief and exhaustion. But that was about to change. Because 2 weeks later, Claire showed up at the house again. And she wasn't alone. 2 weeks after the explosion, I hear a knock at the door. It's Claire. And standing next to her, arms crossed, and wearing this smug-ass grin, is Darren. Mr. I stole your wife and your dignity in one night himself. I opened the door, but didn't say a word. Just stared. Claire gives me this rehearsed, overly calm. Hi, Robert. We need to talk. Talk. Now she wants to talk. I step aside, not because I wanted them inside, but because I needed to know what kind of delusional circus I was about to witness. They sit on the couch. My couch. Darren looks like he owns the place already. He's the kind of guy who probably uses words like synergy and thinks drinking craft beer makes him interesting. Claire clears her throat like this is some therapy session. I know this has all been sudden, she starts, but Darren and we didn't mean for it to happen this way. Things just evolved. Evolved. I repeated, still not blinking. We just connected, she continued, and I realized I haven't been happy for a long time. Oh, I said, so cheating makes more sense when you slap a poetic excuse on it. Darren chimes in, trying to sound diplomatic. Robert, no one's trying to hurt you here. I turned to him slowly. Buddy, you showed up to my house with my wife and tried to justify blowing up my life. You already did the hurting part. Then Claire drops the real reason they came. We want to discuss the house. I blinked. The what? The house, she repeats. It was our marital property. I contributed financially. I just want what's fair. I laughed. Out loud. A bitter, sharp laugh that even surprised me. Claire, I bought this house 2 years before I met you. Your name isn't on the deed. You never contributed to the down payment, mortgage, nothing. You think you're entitled to part of it because you what? Slept here. Darren shifts uncomfortably. I could see him starting to realize this wasn't going the way Claire promised him it would. I've spoken to a lawyer, Claire says, trying to sound assertive. Great, I say. So have I. And I hope yours warned you that family court doesn't look kindly on cheaters demanding assets they didn't earn. Silence. Then Darren stands up like he's about to puff his chest. We'll see you in court. I nod. Looking forward to it. You should bring your wife too. Oh wait, forgot. She already called me. Claire's face drains of color. Yeah, that's right. I dropped that one on purpose. They needed to know this wasn't going to be some polite, amicable split. They made it messy. Now they could live in it. They left 5 minutes later. Claire looked shaken. Darren tried to keep his fake confidence up, but I could tell he was already questioning her judgment. But here's the kicker. Claire thought she'd walked into that house to take something from me. She had no clue what was actually coming for her. After Claire and Darren strutted out of my house like a pair of clowns who just bombed their own parade, I did exactly what any sane man would do after being blindsided by betrayal. I went into full revenge mode. Not petty revenge. Legal. Strategic. Ruthless. First stop, my lawyer. And let me tell you, the guy practically grinned when I dropped the phrase adulterous spouse trying to claim property she never paid for. Turns out, Claire was standing on legal quicksand. See the house. Fully in my name. Purchased 3 years before we even got married. No commingled finances. No contributions. Claire had never paid a dime toward the mortgage. Not one. She used her salary for her own stuff. Spa days, subscription boxes, overpriced skincare. And I never complained, because I thought we were a team. You know, shared life, shared roles. Big mistake. But here's the part that made my lawyer raise an eyebrow. Claire didn't just leave me. She left publicly. Loudly. At a party, with family witnesses. It was basically a legal, gift-wrapped admission of guilt. And Darren? Still legally married. His wife, let's call her Melissa, was now fully on my side. She'd already filed for divorce. She had receipts too. Screenshots. Emails. A whole folder of proof of the affair. We ended up sharing lawyers. Strategic alliance, baby. Meanwhile, Claire started blowing up my phone a week later. Not to apologize. No, that would require accountability. She texted me saying, I hope we can still be civil about the split. And then a few hours later, I think it's childish that you're involving my parents. Oh, you mean your parents who disowned you? Sure, Claire. Her parents had actually invited me over for dinner. Twice. Her mom cried and told me, you were the best thing that ever happened to her. Her dad said, I'm ashamed she shares our name. Do you know how insane that is? Her family chose me over her, because even they couldn't spin this disaster into something forgivable. But here's where it gets good. 2 weeks after that awkward visit to my house, I found out Claire had been temporarily staying with Darren, who now wasn't exactly rolling out the red carpet. Melissa, Darren's actual wife, froze their joint accounts, froze the credit cards, took his name off their home, kicked him out. So Darren, now jobless, yep, he got fired after HR found out about the affair, was sleeping on a friend's couch, and Claire was couch surfing between friends and extended hotel stays. Guess who paid for those? Not Darren. Claire started hinting in her text that she needed to talk about finances and wanted to settle things without lawyers. Oh, now you're worried about money? She had no clue that while she was busy chasing a fantasy, the floor beneath her was crumbling. Fast. I didn't even have to lift a finger. Karma already had its hands wrapped around her perfect little life. And I hadn't even made my move yet. About a month after the party, I was doing all right. I'd stopped waking up angry and started sleeping better, mostly because I knew every single decision Claire made was backfiring. But then she made the dumbest move yet. She tried to come back. I get a knock on the door. Not a text, not a call, a knock. And there she is, standing on my porch like she left her sunglasses, not her marriage. She looked rough, like reality had slapped her every morning for the past 4 weeks. No makeup, hair in a mess, wearing some oversized hoodie I knew wasn't hers. Probably Darren's. Probably his only remaining possession. Can we talk? She said. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. She wasn't sitting 1 foot back in that house. She blinked, clearly not expecting that. I didn't think everything would spiral like this, she said, eyes already watery. Darren's going through stuff. He's not who I thought he was. Things are complicated. Complicated. That's the word cheaters always pull when the dream burns down and they realize they just traded steak for microwave garbage. I kept quiet. Let her talk. I wanted to hear what her rock bottom sounded like. I'm staying with a friend right now, but she wants me out by the end of the month, she added. And, I was thinking maybe we could talk. About maybe taking things slow. I swear I almost laughed. Taking things slow? Claire, you ended this. In public. With a micromember. She looked down. I made a mistake. Oh, now it's a mistake. Back then it was finding herself and finally being honest. I didn't yell. I didn't insult her. I just smiled and said, Claire, this isn't a pause. It's game over. And before she could muster some manipulative comeback, I turned around, walked back inside, and closed the door. No dramatic exit. No screaming. Just silence. 10 minutes later, she texted me. I didn't expect you to be so cold. I didn't reply. What was there to say? Actions have consequences. She just didn't think hers would come this fast. Over the next few weeks, I heard things through mutuals. Claire wasn't just broke. She was practically homeless. Darren's couch got replaced with a breakup. Yeah, he dumped her. Apparently, she was too clingy and too emotional. This man ruined a marriage, lost his job, and bailed the second life got uncomfortable. She tried going to her parents. Nope. Her dad literally told her, you made your bed, don't drag it back to our house. And meanwhile, I was thriving. New gym routine. Signed up for a few classes. Reconnected with people I drifted from during the marriage. Hell, I even started casually dating again. No pressure, no drama, no betrayal disguised as enlightenment. Claire thought she was stepping into a better life. But really, she walked herself straight off a cliff. And the best part? I wasn't even done yet. So here's where the story turns from revenge served cold till she had no idea what was coming. About 6 weeks post-spectacle, I walk into my lawyer's office for the final draft of the separation paperwork. Claire had finally agreed to sign. Why? Because she had no leverage left. Darren had bailed. Her friend were tired of couch surfing Claire. Her job? Oh yeah, forgot to mention, she stepped away after HR opened an internal investigation. Apparently, Darren wasn't just her boss. He was her married superior who'd been reported before. Once news of the affair hit, she became collateral damage. Office politics don't play fair. But now for the fun part. My lawyer and I had quietly been working on counterclaim. See, Claire had taken a few liberties with our shared bank account in the weeks leading up to her dramatic exit. She thought I wouldn't notice, but I'd flagged every transaction. $900 for travel expenses, $400 gifts, hotel rooms, meals, one purchase for a GoPro camera. Not exactly subtle. So yeah, we added it to the petition. Misuse of marital assets. But we didn't stop there. Remember Melissa, Darren's wife? She gave me access to emails between Darren and Claire. Stupid stuff. Them planning her exit, calling me clueless, even laughing about how fast the idiot will sign the house over once we gild him a little. Yeah, I included that in the paperwork too. And here's where it got beautiful. Claire, thinking she'd finally catch a break, walked into mediation all fake calm and polite. I showed up in a tailored suit and didn't say a damn word. Let the documents speak for themselves. Her face when she saw those emails? Priceless. She flipped through them like she was trying to blink herself out of reality. Her lawyer leaned over and whispered something. Probably, "Why the hell didn't you tell me about this?" She tried to speak, started some half apology, but I cut her off. Save it. The Robert you're apologizing to doesn't exist anymore. We walked out of that room with everything locked down in my favor. She left with nothing. No claim to the house. No spousal support. And a nice little warning from her own lawyer that if she contested it, we'd go public with the emails. For the first time in this whole mess, I felt calm. Not happy. Not smug. Just clean. Like I'd washed off 10 years of dead weight and could finally breathe without dragging someone else's chaos behind me. Claire used to say, "You're too passive, Robert. You let people walk all over you." Nah, I was just waiting for the perfect time to swing. About 2 weeks after mediation, I got a message from an unknown number. The kind of number that screams, "Ignore me." But curiosity got the better of me. It was Claire. Not some long paragraph. Just a voice note. Yeah, she didn't even bother typing it out. Probably thought hearing her voice would sway me. I sat there for a minute before hitting play. Her voice came through shaky, soft, like she'd been crying. "Hey, I know I probably shouldn't be reaching out, but I'm lost right now. I don't know where things went wrong. Everything's just falling apart. Darren's gone. My friends barely talk to me. My parents won't return my calls. I thought I had it figured out, Robert. I thought I was doing what was right for me. But I was wrong. So wrong." Click. Deleted. I wasn't going to fall for that sad violin solo. Not after she nuked my life like it was an inconvenient errand. But I wasn't heartless. I knew what she was feeling. That slow, dawning horror that you bet on the wrong hand and pushed everyone who cared off the table. A week later, I ran into her. Total accident. Grocery store. I was picking up stuff for a small barbecue with some friends. She was standing in the frozen foods aisle, looking like a shadow of the person she used to be. She saw me. I saw her. We both froze. She looked thinner. Eyes tired. Hoodie again. Probably the same one from Darren's place. Her cart had like 4 items in it. Cheap stuff. Instant noodles, store-brand cereal, off-brand shampoo. She walked up slowly. "Robert." I gave her a nod. Nothing more. She tried to smile. "You look good." I didn't reply. Then she said it. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I wanted you to know I was stupid. I thought I needed something else, something more. But it was all fake. All of it. Darren's a joke. He dumped me the second things got hard. His wife ruined him. He blamed me. And now he's back with her. Can you believe that?" I could. People like Darren always crawl back when the money runs out. She kept going, as if talking would erase what happened. "I miss the way things were. You, the life we had. I didn't realize how solid you were until I traded you for someone who couldn't even commit to a sandwich order." I finally spoke. "That life is gone, Claire. You torched it." She blinked like she still hadn't grasped that fact. And then came the kicker. "My parents said they might let me move back in if I fix things with you." I almost laughed. Oh, so now I'm a redemption arc for your family reunion. She looked like she wanted to shrink into the floor. I stepped back, gave her a once-over, and said, "Good luck with the noodles," then walked away. I didn't know her closure. I didn't know her comfort. She had her chance. And now she was standing in a freezer aisle with frozen peas and a pile of regret. I thought the grocery store run-in was the last time I'd see her for a while. But nope. Karma had one more encore planned. I get invited to a party. A friend of a friend, some tech startup guy who just cashed out and bought a ridiculous loft downtown. Rooftop, DJ, catered sushi. Not usually my scene, but my buddy Nate insisted. So I show up. Chilling, drink in hand, chatting with people. Feels good. No tension. Just normal life again. And then I hear it. Her laugh. It's unmistakable. Fake and too loud. I turn slowly, and yep, there she is. Claire. Apparently, she got invited through someone she barely knew. And to top it off, she was alone. Our eyes locked for a second, and you could see it all hit her. This was my crowd now. These weren't her people anymore. She looked like someone who'd crashed the wrong party and realized it too late. She tried to act casual, even waved at one point. I didn't wave back. Later, I saw her talking to some guy near the drinks. He was polite, maybe even a little flirty, until she said her name. I caught the moment. His smile dropped. He mumbled something and walked off. Turns out, word gets around. I wasn't trying to ruin her reputation. But when you publicly humiliate your husband at your anniversary party and run off with your married boss, people talk. And they had talked. Loudly. Claire didn't just lose me. She burned every bridge within a 5-mile radius. At one point, she walked over. Like actually tried to start small talk. So, crazy running into you here. I looked at her, then at the people watching us from across the rooftop. Yeah, everyone was curious. You still trying to get back with Darren? I asked, loud enough for the nearby group to hear. Her eyes widened. No, that's over. Has been. All right, I said. You're just back to drifting, huh? The silence between us could have cracked glass. She looked around, probably realizing half the party was side-eyeing us. Whispers were already moving like wildfire. She muttered something like, "I shouldn't have come," and left 5 minutes later. That was the last time I saw her in person, but not the last time I heard about her. A few days later, I get a message from Melissa, Darren's ex-wife. She sent me a link. Claire had posted some desperate, cringy self-pity rant on Facebook. The post was full of lines like, "Some people are too afraid to forgive. Not everyone's betrayal is intentional. Sometimes good people make bad choices." The comments? Brutal. Her own cousin replied, "You humiliated your husband at a family party. This ain't about forgiveness. It's about consequences." Another wrote, "Girl, you didn't make a bad choice. You made a damn PowerPoint presentation out of it." I didn't comment. Didn't need to. Because for once, the world saw her exactly how she was. About 7 months after the infamous anniversary party, I thought I was done hearing Claire's name. Life had moved on. Papers signed. House fully in my name. She'd faded into the background like an old embarrassing Facebook post. Cringe, forgotten, irrelevant. Then I got the email. From a woman named Hannah. Subject line, "You don't know me, but I think we need to talk about Claire." I almost deleted it. Looked like spam. But something made me open it. Turns out Hannah was Darren's ex-assistant. She'd seen what went down between Claire and Darren firsthand. She wasn't gossiping. She was warning me. Apparently, Claire was trying to spin a new narrative. One where I had been abusive, controlling, emotionally unavailable. She'd been telling people Darren saved her. Yeah, the same Darren who tossed her out like expired leftovers. But here's the kicker. She was trying to write a book. Some self-help meets memoir nonsense. Working title, "Freedom Isn't Always Pretty." Barf. The plan? Publish her journey through self-liberation and toxic love, which was code for, "I blew up my marriage for a guy who ghosted me after losing his corporate card." I didn't know whether to laugh or rage. But Hannah didn't email me, just to vent. She attached draft excerpts Claire had apparently shared in a writing group. Pages filled with lies. Full-on fiction. She painted me as a cold, dismissive robot who ignored her for years. She twisted our anniversary party into the moment she reclaimed her voice. Unreal. So I sent the files to my lawyer. He made a few calls. Friendly ones at first. Reminders about defamation laws. Reminders that screenshots exist. That we had receipts. Emails. texts, the party guests, Claire's parents. And like magic, the book disappeared. Website gone. Her name unlinked from any project. That's when I realized something. Claire wasn't just trying to rewrite her past. She was trying to repackage it, sell it, turn the ashes of our marriage into a brand. She thought if she could just frame herself as the victim long enough, people would forget what actually happened. But Reddit, people remember, especially when the truth is this loud. Funny thing is, I didn't need revenge anymore. Life was handling that just fine. Claire's reputation was in the gutter. Darren was back with his wife, for now, pretending like none of it ever happened. And Claire? She was living in a rented room, working part-time at some admin job her cousin helped her get. The same woman who stood in front of a crowd and announced her new beginning now couldn't even get an invite to a backyard barbecue. But like I said earlier, at the party, I thought that was the end. You have no idea how wrong I was. Because karma wasn't done yet. One final card was still on the table. So I figured that was it. Claire humiliated. Darren dumped her. The fake book tanked. Her family still wouldn't speak to her. And the only person she could lean on was herself, which was clearly unfamiliar territory. I had closure. Until one Tuesday afternoon, I get a letter in the mail. A thick one. No return address. Inside, a handwritten note. And a sonogram. Yeah, a sonogram. My stomach dropped. I didn't panic. I knew for a fact it couldn't be mine. But still, what the hell? The note was from Claire. Robert, I debated sending this for weeks. I know you probably want nothing to do with me. I don't blame you. But I felt like you should know. I'm pregnant. It's Darren's. Or, at least, I think it is. I'm not asking for anything. I just didn't want you to hear it from someone else. Claire. I sat there stunned for a second. Not because of the baby, but because even now, even after everything, she managed to find a way to make me part of her chaos. Later that day, I got a text from Melissa, Darren's wife. Ex again, apparently. So, you got the sonogram too? She added a laughing emoji, followed by. She sent it to me, her parents, Darren's boss, and God knows who else. Trying to force him into stepping up. Turns out, Claire thought a baby would be her redemption arc. The anchor. The reset button. She assumed Darren would come crawling back the moment he saw the ultrasound. Instead, he demanded a paternity test and ghosted her again. And the results? Not his. That's right. She didn't even know who the father was. She'd been sleeping around during her self-discovery phase between crashing couches. She just assumed it was Darren's and tried to force the narrative. Now, she's alone, pregnant, unemployed, reputation torched. Parents won't take her in. Darren wants nothing to do with her. The real father? Unknown, according to mutuals. And me? I'm good. Actually, I'm great. I'm seeing someone new. Nothing crazy serious, but it's healthy. It's honest. She knows the whole story, and she stayed anyway. That's how I know it's real. I've got peace. I've got my house. I've got my life back. And Claire? She's left with nothing but a pile of bad choices and a future she can't manipulate into a journey of empowerment. Reddit. I've learned something through all this. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Don't wait for the dramatic ending. Don't try to rewrite the story. And don't ever hand someone a mic at your anniversary party, unless you really trust what they're going to say. Because sometimes, karma doesn't knock. It announces itself over a PA system, and then lets the whole room watch what happens next.